Hey, Brian. Guys, tree wars. It's a real thing happening in neighbourhoods all around Sydney, Australia. And we're going to talk about the laws behind trees and some of the incredible insights we've got. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so
Cleo with you, expert property manager. How you going?
I'm well. How are you this morning?
Good. Is this a boring topic about trees?
I always have these conversations with family and friends. Trees come up in conversation all the time, especially if you live on the northern beaches. We do have quite a leafy area, neck of the woods. So I don't think it's boring. No.
Unbelievable. And look, being a property manager of almost 15, 20 years, you'd have some pretty cracker stories about this.
I've had so many properties where they've been affected by trees, whether it be neighbors and tenants fighting it out over trees, or massive storms that have had trees come down on an entire house, and tenants having to be relocated because yeah, there was extensive damage. So now's the time, with summer coming in, bushfire season, it is maintenance, especially if you're a homeowner and or a landlord of a house, with a lot of trees. So tree lopping, all of that stuff, gutters, now's your time to really get on top of those things.
And this thing, you saw, a massive example of what happened when the LA fires. This can creep up on you over a period of time where your home is at risk. Northern Beaches has a lot of sort of forest greened areas around it as well, where you can really become a threat really, really quickly. Um, Pulling stuff. So this is the time where you got a bit of leeway where you can get that done to your house. What are the laws around cutting trees for fire and a test?
Well, if you're in a bushfire zone, there's a certain amount of meters that you are able to cut trees down from your house. So if, for example, I think it's like, I don't know, 3 meters, 5 meters, something like that from the house, you can chop those trees down if you're in that zone. Our home in Bayview, we're in a bushfire zone. We can pretty much cut down all the trees around our house that are very close. At 2 grand a tree, that's how much they cost, probably about two and a half per tree. So it's not it's not a cheap exercise. And then if you have a neighbor whose branches of their trees are overhanging onto your property, then you're able to legally cut those down. So trim all around the house, even if it's not your tree.
Juicy. Like to say that. Now, some people are affectionate about these trees. Even tenants that are inside properties. Privacy, is there an issue there? We have to maintain privacy when cutting trees if it's on your end, or do you just cut, cut, cut?
Well, look, especially in winter, some of these trees create a lot of shade and you want to add light to your property. I had a situation in Warrwood recently where the house was so dark and it was because of all the greenery around. So the owner basically went there with the sledgehammer and just chopped it all down. And now the tenant's really angry because all the neighbors can see into her lounge room. So she's now planting trees and planting more plants so they will grow. It's a crazy scenario, but there is a way to do it properly. Perhaps talk to your local arborist or gardener and work out a solution where everyone might be happy. Millipillies are very popular. They're a type of shrub that a lot of homes have, but they can grow really quickly. They get into gutters. They can do a lot of damage to a house. I had a property in Mona Vale and I just got rid of all of them. When they're a small, cute little hedge, they look nice. And then all of a sudden you turn around, they've taken over the whole house. So there is, an art in what to choose as well. If you are wanting privacy, trees, different story. with trees. So obviously with pools as well, they're a problem. So having cut down trees around your house, you might not be, your neighbor's best friend if they're a greenie and they like the trees, but you got to maintain your house, your plumbing, your everything. Trees can cost a lot of money and time for a homeowner, as well as, putting the kibosh on development. Say you want to build on your land and there's, that gigantic, excuse me, ghost
On the
gum,
tree.
what are you going to do?
And how much does it cost to get an arborist report?
A report will probably cost you about $500, but just getting a report is, we've got arborists that we use that'll come and give you a quote on what you can cut down and what you can't. Most local beach companies know, what council trees are protected by council. Can't cut that one down. We've got a tallow wood. I have no idea about all these names of trees, by the way. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. There's a tallow wood tree outside our house, and it's horrible. It just sheds and it's ugly, and the bark's really horrible. And the arborist came and said, "Oh no, that's council land and it's a protected tree. You can't cut it down." And we're like, "Well, that branch is, leaning up on our house, so we can cut that down. We can trim it. We can't cut it." So, yeah, we often talk about that tree. If only we could get rid of that tree, but you can't.
And there's a percentage that you can trim back per year, yeah?
Yes, there is. There is. We, for my particular scenario, we've got a lot of gums and a lot of big gums. So it's hard to get up there to do any trimming because they're just gigantic. So you really need professionals with harnesses. We have to get a crane. There's two that are overhanging our pool that we want to get rid of. That's going to cost around $5,000-$6,000 when you put the, I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. And the funny thing is, our neighbor, he's got his property on the market at the moment. There's a ghost gum that sits in between both our property and his property. And we were quoted, I think, almost 8,000 to get rid of that tree. So you can imagine how big it is. They told us that it was planted. Why would you plant this gigantic ghost gum? They call them the widow makers because out of nowhere they just crack and a massive branch can come down and flatten you. But yeah, it
They're
was a
$8,000
planted tree.
for a tree.
Yeah, I could show you actually how big this tree is. It's
Show us this
huge.
fella. Show us
All
the
right.
fella.
Oh well, I'll show you this way.
It's Tree Explorer. So, what does an arborist report cost? Sorry, you probably think you mentioned it before.
Couple of $100, maybe five, depending on how entail. But I'll turn it around. Tell me if you can see. That's the tree. Can you see it?
Yes.
I'll give
That's
Brian's
close to
company
the
a plug.
house. That
Yeah,
Widowmaker's
look.
close to the house. Are you trying to
Yeah,
plug
so
your husband's company
yeah,
as well while you're there?
yeah. Why not?
Imperial Garage
um,
Doors. Anyone if you need a garage door?
It's
Wow.
really close. And then one night we were all just sitting down, and there's a nub there on the end. That entire branch just fell onto the road. It was huge. It was like a tree in itself.
You've got serious trees
Anyway,
over there. There's another one.
yeah, we've got two. We've got two. This is where the kookaburras live, so they love that one. But this ghost gum's a problem. It's a big problem. So we got to get. And the one that I hate is that one over there. That's right, overhanging our roof.
Do you
So yeah,
think
we've got
because
quite a few.
do you think because you're Greek, like you're a wog, that maybe that's why you feel like this, or it's just most people are, you know?
I just want it all concrete. I just want to get the hose out like every wog and just hose down the driveway, and
And
that's it.
just
No
hose it.
leaves.
You just want to hose stuff. Now, I do have to say, with these trees, if you've ever had a floor underneath them, like a driveway or a patio tiles, those we had a couple of gum trees in our old
Pavers.
backyard, and the leaves drop like a residue on the
Oh
leaves
yeah,
drop
they
the leaf.
stain it.
They stain it. They
Yeah,
stain it, and it's like
my driveway's stained.
bastard. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God. So you sort of got to clean the
So,
leaves quick before they stain. But guys, it is a real threat. Our advice from property managers as real estate agents is, because you're not living in that home any longer and because it's completely off the radar, ask your agent to actually give you a bit of a when they do an inspection, to give you a bit of a report on the surrounding trees. One, for fire, and two, for natural light, privacy, and maintenance. Like I think sometimes these guys go absolutely out of control, and then I think you've mentioned another one, Cleo. If they do get protected the trees to a stage where they're a particular species or a particular size or something, you're going to find it hard to maybe do an extension on your home or something. So monitor your
mhm.
trees, I think, is the message of today.
Definitely. And, our routine inspections, we do extensively show the yard and everything. I have a property in Beacon Hill. We've recently just done a huge cutback because the trees were on the neighboring boundary wall and causing damage to the neighbor's fence. So we've had to do, extensive work over a period of 4 months now. So yeah, you don't have to do it all at once, guys. Do it in stages as well. But now's a good time to start being conscious of it with the warmer weather.
Thank you very much, Cleo. In the
See you.
nature.
I
See
know.
ya.
See you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.